The Joker won. Fuck. The Dark Knight.
There is so much internet discourse on this film that it's a little overwhelming, but I gotta talk about this film. It's just so fucking good. So why is this film considered not just one of the best superhero films of all time, but one of the best films of all time? And it's because damn near every aspect of the filmmaking is perfect. The casting, the score, the writing, the direction, the themes that have been established in Batman Begins. It just all comes together so perfectly. Heath Ledger as the Joker, I mean, he blew everyone away. No one thought he could pull that off. And even Aaron Eckhart as Harvey Dent, he gave a great fucking performance. So in the last video, we talked about how these films are like three parts of a story. This is the second part. And it's the part in which our hero goes through his downfall. And it's like his darkest moment, only to be risen again. We talked about how Bruce Wayne doesn't want to do this for the rest of his life. He's looking for a way out. It's especially at this point, he's made significant progress with Jim Gordon in clearing out the Gotham City criminals. Then you have Harvey Dent, this new optimistic DA who shares similar goals to Batman and Jim Gordon, except he wants to do it as a DA, and it's not like a vigilante and a guy working in major crimes. In walks in the Joker. This is the antagonist of this film. Can't be negotiated with. He can't be bribed. He is pure chaos, and he's the exact opposite of Batman. The idea of the Joker is to just cause as much chaos as he can. But I think with this film, I think he just wants to highlight how we're not inherently good. We're inherently bad, and it's manifested in a lot of different scenes. The interesting thing about the Joker in this film is that Bruce Wayne thought he knew criminals. He thought he understood most of the reasons why they did what they did. But with the Joker, his world is flipped upside down, and he is forced to reassess what he thought he knew. The Joker can't be stopped unless he's killed. And there's a great scene where, after Rachel died, Bruce Wayne to Alfred is like, I finally realized what I'd have to become to stop men like him. He'd have to plunge down into the abyss. And plunging down to this abyss, he has to use people's cell phones to spy on them, to find him. He has to take down a SWAT team in order to save people. He has to do things that would cause him to be a criminal in the eyes of the citizens of Gotham. So it would be unfair to talk about this film and not talk about the interrogation scene. It's most people's favorite scene, and for very good reasons. I don't know if it's my favorite scene. It's definitely one of them. If you removed all of like the real world themes and all the things that Nolan is trying to do in this film that's not about a comic book, this would be the most comic book accurate scene in the film, because there's almost no score and it's just two characters talking. Batman really listens to the Joker and is like kind of processing what he's saying by just the camera showing his face, no expression, just listening. And the more the Joker talks, the angry Batman gets. And it's part because he's manipulating him, in part Bruce Wayne realizing that this could be me. Ultimately, the Joker tricks Batman and Rachel dies and Harvey Dent lives. It's just a fucked situation. The thing is that Joker is not on either side. He's not a criminal, he's not a cop, he's not on the side of the mob. He's just a force of nature. That's what he feels like. But, a man who was once a ray of sunshine in Gotham City, Harvey Dent, is manipulated by the Joker to become a criminal. That hospital scene, that's really there to show how as good as a person can be, or seem to be, always room for madness. Harvey Dent is sort of like the midpoint between the Joker and Batman. He shares characteristics of both of these men throughout the film. Harvey Dent is interrogating the schizophrenic patient, and to try to find the Joker. I mean, his true colors almost show. That darkness was lurking beneath the entire time. We all have it. And this is why it's such a tragedy to see Harvey Dent fall at the end of the film. It's so sad to see him die a criminal as opposed to dying a hero. The whole idea with Batman is that he has to become something more. He has to kind of become Batman instead of and Bruce Wayne has to die in order for Batman to continue to be there. Batman and Harvey Dent didn't win. Harvey Dent died a criminal, and Batman ended up taking the fall for Harvey Dent's crimes. And that's why it's not a happy ending. He's public enemy number one. Soul crushing, bro. So let's talk a little bit more about what these characters represent. Batman, Harvey Dent, and the Joker. Because that's really the crux of this film. But when it comes down to it, the most interesting part is the dynamic between these three characters. They all play a very equal part of what Nolan's trying to say and how he chose to tell a story about people. It's interesting because each of these men kind of represent what Batman could be: corruptible, whether that become cruel. So where Dent is order, the Joker is chaos. Each of these characters does bad things. Obviously, to different degrees. Batman isn't as sick as the Joker. He's still willing to break the law like the Joker in order to get his mission done. Dent was Batman's way out. He can be the White Knight, the best of everybody. One of my favorite scenes in the entire film is the last scene. Dent, we have Batman, we have Jim Gordon. And just like in that first scene where the three of them are talking about how to fix Gotham City way early on in the film, we have the ending scene. We're right back where we started, and now Dent has become this psychotic criminal, and he's about to kill Gordon's kid. Low blow. That's like something the Joker would do. Someone who's just inherently evil. No sense of moral righteousness. The whole idea of Harvey killing Gordon's son builds up the previous scene when the Joker has the two ferries of people. You know, the first boat is criminals. The other boat is innocent civilians. And he wants them to kill the other because he wants to prove that when it comes down to whether you're a criminal or whether you're a decent person, we're all dark inside. And Harvey Dent almost kills Gordon's son. It's sort of like what happens if one of them did decide to blow up the other boat. That's what's about to happen until Batman steps in. The fact that his plan failed, Joker's plan, proves that people are good and they can be good. It's actually sort of optimistic. Batman is trying to explain to Harvey that the turn of events wasn't random. The Joker wanted to bring you down to this level. Batman tries to save Harvey Dent. And that's the best part. He's like, if you're going to point the gun, point it at someone who's responsible. Don't point it at innocent people. He does go through it, and it just kind of proves that, I guess, once you crossed a certain level, you can't find your way back, I guess. The Joker realized how similar he was to Batman. And I think that's why he couldn't really corrupt him like he could corrupt Harvey Dent. Harvey Dent wasn't like them. Harvey was the best of the three men, the strongest member of that alliance. One of my favorite shots in the entire film is that close-up of Batman's face when Harvey's like, the Joker chose me. I'm the only one who lost something. And Batman's like, Harvey and Bruce Wayne kind of both lost someone they love. It's so satisfying to have this complete arc for Batman, where he kind of starts out like he ended in Batman Begins. Now he's sort of crossed this line. He's a criminal in the eyes of everyone. How do you come back from this? We're going to talk about The Dark Knight Rises next. I hope you enjoyed. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment. I'd be more than appreciative if you did. Thanks you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Stay tuned for next week.